Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Class 10 students, your first term course will include inshallah chapter number 11 homeostasis and chapter number 12 coordination and control. But half of the chapter coordination and control will be included because that is a very lengthy chapter and you have to cover only half chapter for the first term exam. First of all, we will start the chapter number 11, homeostasis. Homeostasis is the word made up of two words, homeo and stasis. Homeo means self and stasis means regulating or maintaining. The self-maintaining system, self-balancing system in the living organism is known as homeostasis. What's the need of the self-balancing system? Because living organism face the external environment. Their internal environment sometimes different from the external environment. Sometimes fluctuations or changes occur in the external environment, like sometimes temperature goes very down, sometimes goes very high, sometimes the water availability become more, sometimes less, sometimes the excretory material inside the body become very abundant. So all the changes in the external environment cause difficulties and problem for the internal environment, and the living organism try to diminish that changes and effects of the external environment and the internal environment. For that reason they need homeostasis. They need to control their internal environment. They need to maintain their internal environment safe from the external environment fluctuations, and that is why homeostasis is an important process or phenomena for the living organism. It includes the three types of the regulation: osmoregulation, thermoregulation and excretion. Osmoregulation is the regulation of the water and different solutes inside the internal environment, that not more water or less water come available to the internal environment, not more solute or less solute are available to the internal environment. They keep balance of water and solutes in the internal environment, and that regulation is known as osmoregulation. Second, the thermoregulation, the regulation of temperature. Sometimes external environment become very hot, sometimes very cold, but they have to maintain their internal environment in balance, not very cold, not very hot, and that regulation is the thermoregulation. Excretion, the removal of metabolic waste. When metabolism occur inside the body, different chemical reaction occur, many different bioproduct and extra product which may be toxic, which may be harmful sometime, and they need to excrete from the body, and the process is known as excretion, which is also a self-balancing system. So these all the three phenomena come in homeostasis. First of all, we will study homeostasis in plants. So plants maintain their internal environment in balance by keeping all the three: osmoregulation, thermoregulation, and then the removal or the excretion of the metabolic waste. So first of all, we will study the removal of extra carbon dioxide and oxygen from the plants. Normally, there is no need of the removal of carbon dioxide and oxygen from the plant body. What is the reason? That carbon dioxide of respiration mostly carbon dioxide produced mostly in the chemical reaction of the respiration, carbon dioxide released as a byproduct, as an extra product, but that carbon dioxide is used in the photosynthesis of the plants. And if we take oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis, as an extra product of photosynthesis, that is also not released from the plant body because it is used in the respiration. So most of the carbon dioxide and oxygen are not take up by the plant as an extra material, because that is used if released as a byproduct, so used as a reactant. It is released here as a product, so it is used in the respiration as a reactant. But sometime if the respiration of photosynthesis rate become high or low, and they may act as a byproduct, then they are simply released by the special structures or organs of the plant, which are known as stomata. Next is the removal of extra water. Water is also produced during different metabolic activities or reaction, and it may act as an extra material inside the body of the plants. Sometimes they are most of the plants, the water is used as strengthening body, as a strengthening material, like the plant use the water for their turgidity, and turgidity make the plant structurally strong. But if the water become more extra, more amount of water is present in the plant, it may be dangerous, and that is why that water can be removed through the two processes. That is, one is transpiration, the other one is the guttation. Transpiration, the removal of extra water through the leaves, the evaporation of extra water through the leaves, through the stomata present in the leaves. When the stomata release that extra water, that is transpiration. Some plants, they can release their water through stem, or sometime as in the roots, they release extra water, especially at the night time when there is no transpiration. The plant have extra water and they need to release that water. They release through the special structure or cells, and those cells are known as hydrathodes. Hydrathodes release extra water, and we can see that water like a dew drops on their stem. But dew drops are not the water that is released from the plant's internal parts of the plant. That is the water that is condensed in the environment, in the air present inside the environment, external environment, while guttation is the water released from the inside of the plant. So there is big difference between guttation and dew formation. The third one is the removal of metabolic waste. Metabolic waste, when produced, especially from the breakdown of the protein, ammonia or urea, etc., when that is produced inside the plants, that are then released from the plant body through different processes or mechanism, which sometimes give benefits to the plants, and sometimes it give benefit to the environment, like especially the metabolic waste are collected in the leaves, and then the leaves are dropped out from the plants, and it acts as a fertilizer for the soil, because returning the material to the soil. Sometimes they collect that material inside their fruits, like tomato. In tomato skin, the calcium oxalate is deposited in the form of the crystal, and that calcium oxalate is then, when removed from the plant body, they get rid of the calcium oxalate. Likewise, the other metabolic waste material is released in a different form, that is resin. Especially the coniferous plants release resin from their stem, from the cut area of the stem, and they get rid of this material, and this material also used in different industrial material. Gum, which is obtained from the plants, that is also released from the plants, especially like for example like kikar, and that is the metabolic waste of that plants. Latex, that is released by the rubber plant, the whitish material that is known as latex. This is the metabolic waste of that plant. Mucilage, especially ladyfinger and many other vegetables have such type of material that is act as a metabolic waste for those plants, and we take different benefits from all these material. So plants get rid their all these material from their body, and that is a special mechanism of the homeostasis.